In this session, we are going to talk about bioelectric amplifiers. So, as we all know that we have studied there are various kinds of sensors, transducers, etc., which we use to actually pick up the electrical signals or electric signals from human body. But these signals that we pick up from the human body, they are actually so feeble and so small in magnitude that these signals cannot be directly used actually. So we need to have some well-defined, well-designed amplifiers which can actually amplify such a small magnitude of signal, and then once amplified we can actually use it for transmission or display or any other further processing. So over here we are going to talk about some of the amplifiers which are designed for biomedical purposes. Okay, so there are many, although there are many amplifiers, we are going to talk of main four types, that is carrier amplifier, chopper amplifier, isolation amplifier, and instrumentation amplifier. Now, first of all, let's see what is a carrier amplifier. Now, a carrier amplifier is a direct current amplifier in which the DC input signal is filtered by a low pass filter and then used to modulate a carrier. So it can be amplified conventionally as an alternating current signal. The amplified DC output is obtained by rectifying and filtering the rectified carrier signal. Okay, carrier amplifiers, they are classified either as DC excited, AC excited, or pulse excited. So over here, basically what we are doing, the small signal, DC signal that you obtain from human body, that is actually used to modulate an sinusoidal wave. Okay, so modulation, of course, we'll be studying at the later part of this chapter. So just in short to tell you, modulation is basically some parameter of the carrier wave is changed or modulated in accordance with the value of your base signal, okay, or the information signal. So basically what we do is we take a sinusoidal carrier wave and we modulate that wave with the DC signal that we have obtained from human body. Okay, and then it is amplified just like any AC signal, and at the it is amplified, transmitted, and then at the end it is rectified and filtered just like any AC signal. Okay, so amplitude modulator multiplies the DC signal with the carrier wave. Hence, the output of the modulator has a phase reversal of 180 degrees whenever the DC signal is negative. Okay, the coupling capacitors which are used before and after AC amplifier acts as sort of a high pass filter. So basically, we are getting a DC signal, amplify that. Okay, then it passes through a low pass filter because we know that the signal that is coming from human body is actually a low frequency signal. Okay, any high frequency component coming along is actually noise. So we put a low pass filter over here to eliminate any unwanted noise. Then with the help of amplitude modulator, it is actually superimposed on a carrier wave. That carrier wave is actually, now this carrier wave actually becomes a high frequency signal. Okay, this high frequency signal, this capacitor that you see, this acts as a high pass signal. So once it is modulated, if you're passing it through a high pass signal, anything that is unmodulated left behind will be discarded at this stage itself. So the high frequency signal that got generated after modulation, that will be transmitted to an amplifier. Then over here, AC amplifier is employed. Amplification takes place up to whatever level is required. Again, we put a capacitor so that if any low frequency noise has interrupted into the signal, that will be discarded over here itself. Okay, and then it passes further, and the phase sensitive detector, this actually, this is to decode or to demodulate it back into the original signal, and that original, of course, signal now comes again as a low frequency signal. So we are again having a low pass filter, and then finally it is displayed at the output. So carrier amplifiers, they work by superimposing the DC signal on the AC carrier wave, then amplifying that carrier wave, transmitting it, and then at the receiving end, discarding the carrier wave, obtaining the original signal, and then filtering it to get the final output. Then we have chopper amplifiers. Chopper amplifiers are basically DC amplifiers, that is, they operate on low frequency signals. While measuring the biosignals, we may come across some types of signals that are very weak and they need amplification with exceedingly high gain. Since a very high gain DC amplifier is much hard to build with low offset, and further they have a tendency to drift, it is much easier to build an AC amplifier instead. Okay, so an AC amplifier, a chopper amplifier, it employs a circuit to break the input signal so that it can be processed just like an AC signal. Okay, it breaks into small pulses of such a frequency that it can be treated just like an AC signal. It is then amplified and finally it is integrated back to a DC signal at the output end. So in this manner, even the extremely small DC signals which are coming from piezoelectric sensors can also be amplified. So this method is often used in electronic instrumentation where stability and accuracy, they are very, very essential, right? So we are breaking the incoming DC into very, very small pulses, and those pulses together, they actually are similar to AC signal. So AC amplification takes place, and then finally after at the end again we are integrating that and converting it back into a DC signal. Then we have isolation amplifier. Now this amplifier is actually very, very important in terms of bio instruments. Okay, so isolation amplifiers, they are used in the systems where a sensor or input is actually to be separated from the system that is acquiring data. Okay, these isolation barriers, they are helpful in protecting sensitive sensors from high voltages. An example of amplifier isolation exists in medical devices that use electricity to get physical data from patients, such as ECG or EEG. The electricity produced in a human on account of internal activities is of the order of microvolts or at the most millivolts. This weak signal is picked up by the instrument and is first fed to the isolation amplifier, which prohibits the higher voltage levels in the instrument to move back to the human under measurement. This is essential to protect the human patient from shock hazards. Isolation amplifiers use a variety of techniques to minimize large signal nonlinearity and distortion. So one such technique is using a linear optocoupler to increase the linearity of the isolation amplifier over a particular signal range. An optoisolator or an optocoupler is actually a device that uses a short optical transmission path or to transfer the signal between the elements of a circuit while keeping them electrically isolated. Since the signal goes from an electrical signal to an optical signal and then back to an electrical signal, the electrical contact along the path, it gets broken. The optoisolator contains both an infrared LED and a photodetector. The wavelength response of each device is designed to be as comparable as possible to permit the highest measure of coupling possible. So you can see in the figure that the first figure, it shows you have a sensor, then some normal conditionings, the signal goes from there. Now before it actually goes into the further circuitry, there is an isolation barrier created in between. Now that isolation, what that isolation is, that you can see in the next figure, which is labeled as optical coupling. So what we do is the signal that we are getting from the sensor, the value of that signal actually controls the intensity of light of the LED. Okay, that intensity from the LED is actually detected by a photo resistor or a photo detector, and then the converted back into electrical signal and then fed into the further circuitry. So basically electrically an isolation has been created, and in between there is a transmission is taking place with the help of light. So electrical signal converted into optical signal, and then again optical signal converted into electrical signal. So likewise in this, what happens if your electrical circuitry, due to any malfunction or something, if there is by any chance a back current or something, or a back voltage is generated, so first thing, your sensor is not damaged. If you have a very delicate sensor, it is not damaged, and secondly, the patient which is under consideration doesn't get a shock because there is the voltage cannot actually travel backwards. So that is isolation amplifier. Then the most important one we have is instrumentation amplifier. And instrumentation amplifier is a kind of differential amplifier. Differential amplifier means it needs two inputs. Okay, which has a built-in input buffers which eliminates the need of input impedance matching and avoids loading of the sensor or any other proceeding electronic circuit. This makes it particularly suitable for use in biomedical measurements. An instrumentation amplifier is designed to have a very low DC offset, low drift, low noise, etc. These amplifiers, they are internally composed of three op-amps. You can see in the figure, we have three operational amplifiers. These are arranged in such a way that one op-amp is to buffer each input and one to produce the desired output with adequate impedance matching for the succeeding unit. So this is actually the most important and you can say unique characteristic of this amplifier, that it has a impedance matching can be done in that. Okay, buffer states, these two amplifiers that you can see, these are called buffer states, input buffer states. So that helps you in impedance matching of the succeeding and the proceeding electronic circuits. So this actually avoids any loading effect, and it avoids the damage to any sensitive devices that might be attached into your electronic circuits. So instrumentation amplifier is the most popular amplifier that we use in the biomedical instruments, and even otherwise in industries also the instrumentation amplifier is actually a very popular choice.